With a little careful preparation, nature provides a veritable buffet of edible plants. But being on the run isn't a lifestyle choice, and frankly, you don't have the time. A lying up spot will be chosen based on how much cover it provides. Food is scavenged from bins or stolen from farms. Be careful to take crops only from the edge of the field, not leaving too many traces. Waste of all kind is buried.
We were too thirsty to worry too much about food, but once we had managed to find some water, then what little food we did have, well, it was a godsend. I just had my 30th birthday, and more as a joke than anything else, my wife had sent me out a small can of baked beans. And although a miniature can of baked beans doesn't go particularly far between four, it may have been more a psychological effect than a physiological effect, but certainly some of the nicest food I've ever eaten were those baked beans.
Any society creates a lot of waste, particularly in a war zone. On the run, picking up what looks like someone else's rubbish could just save your life.
You must always look for items lying around which you might find is useful to help you to survive. Polythene bags, string, kindling. Put it inside the polythene bags. Keep it dry. I now use my polythene bag to collect water. Rainy day, spread out the polythene, try and get as much surface area as possible out, and you'll collect plenty of water into it. Obviously you've got to have it in a little hollow so that the water will run into the bag and not run out the side.
Even in the survival kit, there are some unusual lifesavers.
Condoms for water collection. Put it inside a sock, fill the condom with water, and get a nice little carrier bag to carry the water in.
Covering up until nightfall, Eddie can only expect a few hours sleep. Especially with the enemy hunter force breathing down his neck. The SAS are trained in wilderness survival, but it's unlikely they'll need many of those skills on the run. Building a fire would simply attract attention. If it's possible, however, you might chance it if you really needed to keep warm. But in a scenario like this, Eddie wouldn't have time to rub two sticks together.
In my survival kit, I carry various items to help me start the fire. A tampon. Very important that you open the tampon out. Striker and flint. Some alcohol wipes. Can be used for cleaning wounds, but can also be used for lighting fires. Some glycerin, which you mix with potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate can also be used to sterilise your water. It tastes pretty bad, but keeps you alive. As you can see, you get a very violent reaction when these two chemicals are mixed together. This should be used only in a survival situation and at no other time.
So far, Eddie and Pete have been careful to cover their tracks, but they've had a change of tactics.
We have discovered that we've been followed by a professional tracking unit of 5 or 6 men. What I'm going to do now is lay a track to lure them into an ambush.
In a classic example of thinking on his feet, Eddie is using the tracker's skills against them. He's leaving clues and objects that he knows will get their attention, like a magazine from his gun. Then he doubles back on himself, looping the track so they're looking back on the position where he left the magazine.
This will bring the enemy into our killing zone.
Right to plan. The enemy hunter force have picked up Eddie's trail. He's taking a gamble that they'll concentrate on the track ahead and not see Eddie and Pete in the thin cover. If the enemy spot them first, they're dead meat.
I went up to check the bodies to make sure they were all dead. You cannot afford to leave anyone left alive when they're on your track. As I got there, one of them was playing possum. I had no option but to take him out. Now you've had the opportunity to take out the lead tracking unit, you've got to get as much distance between you and the rest of the hunter force as quickly as possible.
Let's go. But it's still several days forced march to the final rendezvous. And even when they get there, they might have to lie low for days in poor conditions before they're picked up. The final RV, chosen because it's nothing out of the ordinary. In this case, a lay-by near a beach.
We will go to that location at the same time every day until the agent turns up. The agent will identify themselves by giving us a signal. For instance, you will have a piece of music which is known to us playing in the car radio.
From here, they're taken to a safe house where they can rest up for several days and the agent can arrange transport out of the country. But it would be a mistake to think they could make themselves comfortable.
At this stage, you're probably at your most vulnerable. You've left your main weapons behind. You're in civilian clothes. You're only carrying sidearms.
It's been over 5 weeks since they began the mission. In that time, they've endured hardship in the field, they've lost comrades, and for the past week, lived by their wits whilst being hunted. Phil Ashby was awarded the Queen's Gallantry Medal for his escape in Sierra Leone. But he puts their survival down to something other than bravery.
Determination. We got to the stage where it would have just been very easy to have given up. We'd gone through the pain barrier. It would have been very easy just to give up and die. And if it wasn't for that determination and drive, I think we probably would have done.
Everybody's got an inbuilt survival mode built into your body, you know, and there's some got a stronger one than others. You know, it's up here. They want to live, they want to get away, and they do it.
The training is a great asset, but the best thing you've got is what's between your ears. If you don't use that, then you end up captured or dead.
In the next episode of SAS Survival Secrets, a new mission. They're out of uniform, but still tooled up. The team have been tasked with bodyguarding a British minister on a state visit. We'll take you through the drills, the language, and the hardware of a close protection unit, on foot and in vehicles. When they have to hand over security to local law enforcement and the minister is kidnapped, they return in full-on counter-terrorist mode. Speed, aggression, surprise, and firepower make for a successful rescue. Bodyguarding, counter-terrorism, and how to survive as a hostage. The next mission for the team on SAS Survival Secrets.